Hi, and welcome back to a very special Mob Mentality show. I'm Chris Lucian, and my co-host is Austin Chadwick, and we have a lot of our former guests here to play the mob programming RPG. So Willem had created that in the past, and then Lisa was also a former guest on the Mob Mentality show, and so was Joe. So be sure to check out all the episodes that they were on, but we're going to get right into it and get started. But Willem, can you give us a little bit of an intro to the game, and then we'll get started?
Yeah, not only will I give you a little bit of an intro, I will give you the whole intro that one would give to kick off the game. So there's a script. If you go to github.com/Willem Larsen/mob programming RPG, you'll find a repo with a README that tells you how to run and enter the game. And I am simply going to read from the script. So here we go. Hello, everyone. We are here to play the mob programming, the role-playing game. The first most important rule is this, that we treat each other with kindness, consideration, and respect at all times. Can you help me with making sure we remember this when things get tough?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Mob programming is a development practice used for raising code quality and removing obstacles. In practice, it usually feels like a bulldozer rather than a race car. Sorry, Joe. Unstoppable and thorough. That's mobbing. So a role sheet is what we call the sheets with icons and descriptions of roles on them. You'll see more about this in a bit. Now, there are currently 3 levels of role sheet and counting. We, right now, are only going to worry about level 1. Depending on where you are in the rotation, you will be using the appropriate role sheet. If you are at the keyboard, you are a driver and will be filling out the driver role sheet. If you are sitting to the right of the driver, of course, we're remote. So that's, if we're using the timer, we'll get into how you find out who that person is. You are the navigator and we'll be filling out the navigator role sheet. Otherwise, you will be working on the mobber role sheet. So that's 3 roles right now. The goal of this game is twofold. The first is to become a great mob by embodying the role outlined in your role sheet as accurately as possible. The second one is to build your group mob by helping each other complete as many role sheets as you can in this session, just like Joe would like. If you do this with kindness, consideration, and respect, congratulations. You may join the annals of the great mobs of history. I love this script. Okay, so let's actually set up our timer and figure out who's going to be who and assign the role sheets, basically.
Already fantastic script, Willem. I'll add right here, this is becoming really popular with the groups I've been working with in Asia and in Europe. Hundreds and hundreds of people each month joining mob RPGs or trying to. Fantastic, Willem.
Interesting. That's
Wow.
super shocking to me. That's wonderful. Okay, so let's so here's all the role sheets. Oh yeah, our names are right next to them. I love this timer. Okay, so Joe, I want you to check out what the behaviors are that if you do, you will get an experience point. You want to go ahead and read those out?
Yeah, so as the driver, I'll be the only person typing unless I ask for intervention or my computer locks up. So I'll be asking a clarifying question about what to type because I'll be primarily or exclusively typing during the session I'm driver. I should type something I disagree with. I mean, I can have my own ideas, but primarily I'm responding to the navigator. I should use a new keyboard shortcut or whatever tooling I'm using, learn to better use my tooling. And that takes us to the next point, learn something new about the tooling we're in. And if I need to, if the mobbers are getting too aggressive about directly telling me what to do, I should ignore a direct instruction from someone who isn't currently playing the navigator role.
Yeah, and just to clarify, it's not so much that you should, it's that you won't get an experience point if you don't do it. That's all. That's just how the game goes. So I'm the navigator. I'm going to get experience points when I ask for ideas, when I filter the mob's ideas, then tell the driver exactly what to type, when I tell the driver only my high level intent, and then have them implement the details on their own, or create a failing test, make it pass, and refactor, that whole step cycle. Lisa, why don't you tell us what your behaviors will be?
I will certainly yield to the less privileged voice. I love that thought. Contribute an idea, at least. Ask questions till I understand. You can guarantee that I will ask questions. And I listen on the edge of my actual football, not my seat.
Nice, nice. All right, Austin, what are your behaviors?
What Lisa said. I am a mobber as well. So I will be trying to do those same things. Yeah.
Excellent. And remember, so you only get an experience point once for doing each behavior. So if you yield to the privileged voice 4 times, I think that's actually, now I'm forgetting. I might have allowed like you get 2 for each, but let's just do 1 this time. So you want to cover all the spots to get the maximum number of points. Find a way. It's up to you to find a way to hit all those behaviors. If you get 3 points, you then can proceed to the next role. So there's roles beyond mobber. Unfortunately, drivers and navigators are always just going to be drivers and navigators. So you'll be focused on those behaviors, but believe me, it's going to be super tough to max those out the first time. Okay, so
Do we keep track of our own points? How does that work?
No, well, yeah, actually, this is a great question. So
Oh, I already asked a question. Hooray. I get a point.
Oh, nicely done.
Okay. So let's see. So yeah, I mean, what'll need to the way the timer works is we can't check the boxes until we get
Okay,
at the end of a round. That's
joking.
just how it'll work. So every time we switch driver navigator, we will look at what behaviors we've done, and we will check the appropriate boxes. And you will find that when you check the number, actually, I believe the roles just automatically switch. You just immediately up level. So there's a lot of cool automation in this timer.
The gamification as we score ourselves was one of the most fun parts for me. And I was lucky enough to go up a level the previous time I played live on Mob Mentality, and it was incredibly satisfying. I wanted to keep playing.
Yeah, and I mean, and the idea is it is your job to judge for yourself whether you did the behavior. Oftentimes you'll get other folks going, yeah, no, you did that. Go ahead and check it. But there's not really any cheating. You can't really cheat the game, but you can cheat your own learning if you just willy-nilly. That has happened once or twice, and it's sort of like a shrug on my, for anybody facilitating the game. It's like, okay, if folks give shallow versions of behaviors and give themselves points for that, that's okay. But it's their learning, right? I wouldn't worry about it. Any other questions before we kick things started?
Let's get going.
Yeah, I would say that this game can get crazy, and the coding challenge can make you, I'm reading from the script, by the way, can you make you forget you have roles to complete. So in person, we like to do a thing where we have the person to the right and the left of us, we help each other out. I would just say anytime you hear someone, if you are familiar enough with the role sheets and you hear someone do a behavior, just say check out loud. And that'll just be a cue for all of us, like, oh wow, someone just did a behavior. So that's another way to keep things sort of focused, because you will be shocked at how much the coding challenge pulls you away from the mob learning challenge of the roles. So our goal is to finish as many roles as possible in an hour and beat previous records. As of May 2018, oh wow, it's been a while. The record is 39 badges in an hour. I actually remember that game. That was wild. It was a good game. Okay, let's start the timer.
So Joe, if you'd click the start mobbing button in the middle of the screen. Yep.
This button here,
Yes, sir.
that was a clarifying question. All right, we're in FizzBuzz. Please navigate me.
Yes. So what ideas do we have? What do you guys think? How do we want to kick this off?
Maybe so we have a failing test, maybe a failing test about FizzBuzz of some kind.
So these are all already failing tests?
Yeah,
Is that what
I
you're saying?
feel like we already have some cruft. We really only need one failing test, don't we?
Agreed.
We could probably get rid of the second and third failing tests and just focus on the first one. Does that sound like a good idea to everybody?
Yes, yes, I like that.
Okay.
Simplicity, the art of maximizing the amount of work not done. Thank you
Right.
very much. Now, William, you're currently in a mobber role. Fantastic. I didn't have a competing instruction from the navigator. Currently, the navigator is Lisa. Is that right?
No, it's Willem.
Willem.
it's
Oh,
me.
wonderful. Oh, it is. Sorry, Willem. Okay, William.
No problem.
Willem, what would you recommend?
Yeah. So now that we've streamlined things a little bit, what's the first thing we want to test? What's the first test that we could make fail?
That we can put any number, I guess, maybe a 1. I don't know.
You know, I'm seeing that we've got some expectations missing on and 3 in the comments section. Why don't we copy and paste
Ah,
what the expected output is from our customer statement in the RPG readme? Does that sound good?
that would be
Yeah.
nice.
Let me see if I understand it. So up here in the comment, add some information on what topic? What were you thinking, Willem?
Well, so what is
Maybe-
FizzBuzz? What is the unexpected output from FizzBuzz? Because
Yeah, can I
Let's try.
help out with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so because copying and pasting is a little hard while we're trying to record, I'll just kind of say it out loud. So Joe, why don't you type out something along the lines of for any number input from 1 to 100, print out the string fizz for multiples of 3 and buzz for multiples of 5. And the regular number for any that are not.
And is there a way to move the
Yes,
Zoom?
let me do that for you. Thank you. All right.
Thank you. Thank you. Buzz for multiples of 5. And next one, sorry.
And just print out the number for anything that's not 3 or 5, and fizz buzz for multiples of 3 and 5.
Fizz or buzz. Is that simplification I made accurate?
Well, we
Yeah.
need to add the FizzBuzz if it's
3
both
and
a multiple of 3 and a multiple of 5.
Okay, there's another case. Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah, he said that.
It looks like when I copy and paste, I moved up. Control C, Control
Don't
V.
worry about that. Yeah.
I'm learning something new about the tooling. Is there a keyboard shortcut that allows me to copy and paste without resizing the screen?
It might be the difference between Mac and Windows if you're on a Mac right now.
I am at the moment, yeah.
Yeah, you might want to just try and avoid copying and pasting.
All right, I get it, which is tragic for a coder, right? Because that's when we introduce so many mistakes, but okay. For multiples of 3 and 5. Lisa, was that the case?
FizzBuzz altogether, I think, if I'm
Yeah,
understanding correctly.
without a space in between them. FIZZBUZZ. Yeah,
Genius.
perfect.
Do these cases look roughly correct?
Looks good.
Okay. Is there a keyboard shortcut I can try? I want this point.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Alt enter is a really fantastic one. I'll be a mobber, but I'm kind of out of the timer so that we can keep
Well, I
it.
dig it, but I don't have an Alt key on a Mac. Is that control?
Control
Oh.
option. Oh yeah, that does.
There's an alt key. Oh, well,
there's
my keyboard.
Hitting shift twice will bring up a shortcut finder in PyCharm.
Ooh, hot.
And so yeah,
Super thank you. Super thank
if
you.
you need to refactor, shift refactor, and you'll find it.
I dig it.
Wow.
Thanks. Hey, do these
Nice.
comments look roughly correct to be our guides?
All right.
All right, nice. So Joe, did you ask a clarifying question about what to type?
And
He definitely
I
did.
did use new cheat keyword. I definitely learned something. I don't know if I ignored a shortcut. Hey, Lisa, I know you contributed an idea. I'm certain you were listening on the edge of your seat.
And asking questions.
Lisa, I
I
believe
did
you were
ask
asking
questions.
Yeah. There you go.
Ooh,
Now
researcher.
Lisa's a
Oh.
researcher.
Oh, wow, cool.
Isn't that already fun?
Level up.
Willem, you did that a few times.
Yeah,
you had a
I
simplified
asked for ideas several times. I did not create a failing case test, make it pass refactor.
You had a simplified tests.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a refactoring, maybe.
I feel
I'm
like I
certain-
filtered the mob's ideas. Then
I'm
told
certain you
what
were
to type.
filtering. And
Okay.
I'm certain I disagreed with something I typed.
He disagreed with not being able to copy paste.
I was curious about that. That was my own shortcoming.
All right, Austin.
Maybe I ignored something. Austin, how you doing? How you score yourself?
Good. I did contribute an idea.
As an
I
experienced
did.
mobber, he did yield to the less privileged voice.
Oh, nice. You're a
Wow.
sponsor.
Ooh.
Oh, did I just grow a beard? Yes.
I
Okay.
used 2 new keyboard shortcuts, and I learned at least 2 new things about the tool. I'm still not leveling. How many points do I need?
No,
Will?
you don't need you level up, but because you're in the driver position now, it doesn't show that you leveled up.
Oh, okay.
That's right. That's right.
So down at the
I
bottom
want
there,
the
you have
serotonin
earned.
release of seeing the badge change.
So you'll need to click see next up in order to see the badges change.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Before we do that, am I missing points for anybody?
No, you're not.
Okay, should I see next up? Boom.
There you go.
Ooh, I made it to level 2.
You're a sponsor
Wait, Willem, how come you're still driver and not the level 2 badge? You had
because
all
the navigator becomes the driver. That's the order of rotation in this timer.
Oh, so only in that. No,
Only
still,
in the
you should
mobber
be
role do you
should be
play
like,
level up roles.
the evolved form of driver.
There is no level 2 driver or level 2 navigator at this time.
Yes.
Okay.
But it is an open source game and contributions are welcome.
That's
Well, I'll
right.
tell you, I've been hitting something that I believe is level 4, where it's back to a driver and a pool of something like navigators. They're actually a little different. And there's not a separate.
Yeah.
There's only 2 roles going at once, and it seems to work well with fairly mature
Oh.
groups. I'm sure you've all experienced that. I may try that as a code branch and see how the community reacts to it.
Love it.
Excellent.
Yeah, in the interest of time for the game and the recording, we should continue.
Ready? Start mobbing. Boom.
All right, so
Willem.
I am the navigator now. So
Yeah.
what do y'all think we should have for our first test instead of the test we have right now?
Can I suggest a fizz test?
Yes, please.
Checking the documentation. We have 5 possible test cases. I'll suggest that we start with 1 test and try to get it to pass, but then eventually get to 5 tests.
Yeah, I like the idea of starting with 1 test, but does anybody have an idea what should we test in that first test? If
Nice.
not, I
Yeah.
have ideas, but go ahead.
Yeah, Lisa, what do you think about passing an input of so if he wants fizz, right? So he's got to pass in a 3.
All right, so let's do a test that passes in a 3 and make sure that the word fizz appears instead of the 3. I don't have to tell you how to do that because I wouldn't be able to.
You're so humble, Lisa. I love it. It's absolutely hilarious given your experience and expertise, but I love it. Thank you.
My expertise is not in, and we're using PyCharm, so I'm going to assume this is Python.
Yeah, there you go.
I've actually written Python in my distant past.
It-
I just installed PyCharm myself 2 weeks ago because I want to try to contribute to the robot framework open source community.
Nice. Awesome.
Okay, so how are we going to do this? Anybody does our driver know how to do this? Willem,
No.
do you know what to type? Can somebody
No,
give more
I-
details on what to type?
Yes.
Because I
please
thought
do.
I was supposed to just give high level things.
Yes, I have looked it up on a relevant blog or somewhere online, and it looks like
Check.
it might be good if we test drive a function that will do the calculation. So maybe, Lisa, the idea would be to, on line 14, pretend like there's a fizzbug function that exists, and maybe PyCharm will create it for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. That should fail. And it did. We have a failing test. Hooray. So do we want to now make that test pass?
How do I get it to generate the function?
So yeah, I think that's the next step is how do we get a fizzbuzz function?
I think it's-
That first option there says create function fizzbuzz. If you can't read it, I'm sorry for this.
Nice.
Yeah, that's tiny. Okay.
I think we all
Oh,
just.
great. Okay, there it is. Perfect.
Is there something we can do
We're
with
going to
the
pass
input?
in the number. And if it's equal, do we want to make it pass? If it's equal to 3, then print fizz.
Is it okay if?
Yeah.
if-
Playing some TDD golf there, you just return whatever is needed.
Okay.
Good
Well,
step.
that'll make it pass for sure.
Step 1. Create a failing test, make it pass. Well done.
Oh, did you run it?
I know I'm commenting from the stands here, but you might need to
Oh,
capture
thank you.
the results of the fizzbuzz function in a variable.
Oh, that'd be good.
So to the far left of 18, you might have result equals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, far left of it, result equals,
Yep. And then now you can replace the true on line 19 with fizz in a string and then result on it instead of that. Yep.
okay.
Perfect.
we need to add a role for Chris called the peanut gallery.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. You're not in the mob, but
It's
you
helping the navigator who doesn't know how to do this.
I think that's the seagull, the seagull role.
I think Chris is performing as relevant blogs.
Okay, but that makes sense to me. I can at least read it. So that's good.
There you go.
And
Much
did it
better.
pass?
Yep. Celebrate.
Let's
Yay. Why is it
celebrate
red
this,
if it
y'all.
passed?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's annoying. I don't like the red if it's not failing.
Yeah, it's on the left
Congratulations,
there,
Rob.
so you can see the checks.
It says it finished with a 0. So, and it says okay. So we'll call that a pass. And we're doing
Oh,
this
wow.
on a. Oh, I was saying we're doing this on a timer, not by task,
Points
right?
on-
Because I've been ensembling with a group that does it by task. So I'm not used to the timer anymore.
I just attacked my points. I'm addicted to it. Maybe I can make a case for those 3 points. Willem, you absolutely did. I don't know if you disagreed, but I think you did everything on this list.
Oh,
Did you disagree with something?
I don't think so. No, I agreed with everything, but that's plenty to pass the driver role.
I would point out you might have had an opportunity to type something you disagreed with if you had put in the if statement that was navigated.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I did actually ignore. I did the low level details.
Yeah.
instead
I think we can make a legitimate case for these points. Now, whether it would stand up in an aggressive court of law, I'm not sure, but I think we can make a case for all these points.
I didn't tell him exactly what to type because I didn't know. I don't get a point.
In one case you did, but I mean, we were talking about different ways to return a result, and you said, how about we just return 3? I think it was.
Okay.
All right, let's keep it moving.
All right. Yep.
Next
So,
up, and see who's driving.
So Willem, you probably want to click the next up as the lingering driver, and then now Lisa can click start mobbing.
Aha.
Oh, hold up. Let's see what the roles are, because last time it was a little hard to see what my role was. So I guessed I was the
Good,
researcher.
Good. Excellent point. Yeah.
And you were correct, Austin. All right,
Okay,
Austin,
y'all ready?
are you ready to be in the navigator seat? Lisa, you ready?
I'm the driver, but I'll just have to bear. Y'all have to bear with me. It's got to be okay
This is
to
gonna
be slow.
exciting. Thank you, Lisa.
All right.
looking at
So as the navigator, I look at my sheet. It says ask for ideas. Willem and Joe, do you have any ideas on what we should do next year?
I'm gonna look at a relevant blog and see what people recommend. FizzBuzz in Python.
Yeah.
How about you, Willem? You got any ideas?
Yeah, I actually think what we want to do is create another test
Okay.
and that gives it a 6.
Okay, I'm down
So
with
should
that.
I copy paste this?
So what I'm going to do, Lisa, is I'm going to filter the mob's ideas from
Mhm.
Willem, and I'll tell you exactly what to type. Does that
Oh, we
sound
said
good?
not to copy paste, I think. Okay. All right.
So what you can do, we can do a little bit of cleanup just so our copy paste isn't too messy. Can you delete lines 16 and 17 for me, Lisa?
I don't know.
There you go. Nice. And then
Okay.
also delete them again.
What's that?
Delete lines 16 and 17 again. So the function
Okay.
is just nice and small. We're going to do a little bit of a refactor. And then let's copy lines 15 through 17. And then you can paste them on 17.
Is there a shortcut for that, or do I just use copy paste on from my keyboard?
Are you on a Windows or a Mac? Right now?
Mac.
Okay, so quick tech note. If this were a real mob that was going to operate a long time, we would figure out her AnyDesk key map settings so the keyboard shortcut would work.
Oh.
But since we're not taking the time to do that right now, can you just right click and then just do copy and then right click paste? Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, nice. I just learned something new about the tooling.
Nice.
There you
Yep.
go.
And then you can go to the next line and paste. And so what Willem wanted to test, yeah, perfect. So in this one, what we do often in the mob bombing, when we don't know what to call the test yet, we just call it test yeet. So instead of test fizz, we'll just put the word yeet right there for now.
What is the word? I'm sorry.
Yeet, Y-E-E-T.
Why yeet?
Like
I
that?
don't know. Why
Okay.
not yeet?
Okay.
And so we'll come back and give that a better name in a second. And then on line 19, can you pass in 6?
Okay, dokie.
FizzBuzz 6.
Uh-oh, I did that wrong.
All right. Joe, what do you think we should expect? Well, first, let's see it fail. So can you press the play button down here, Lisa? And let's see that failing test.
Perfect.
Fantastic. It said no tests were found. So maybe I think it's got reset. So right here on line 14, can you click the play button? It kind of lost context on what our tests were.
Thank you, Navigator. Wow.
Yeah.
It's not doing anything. Oh, there it goes.
Oh, no.
We're still not compiling.
Our IDE is broken. I think
Oh,
'cause
you
there's an
check out
error
H.
online.
Is there something
There's
wrong with
not-
my
self is not
indentation?
purple.
Is it because this is not indented right?
There we go.
Yes, that's what it is.
Significant
That
white
looks better,
space
right?
in Python
I'm sorry for
strikes
having an
again.
idea. I wasn't supposed to have that.
Okay.
We're still okay
Joe.
though.
Joe, what do you think we should get when we pass in a 6, according to our rules above here?
According to the blogs that I'm reading and our definition documents, it looks like at some point we'll want to do a random number generator 1 through 100, or just cycle through 1 to 100 to test cases. And a 6 should give us just the number 6.
You know, I don't like this test, actually. I think this test is redundant. I think we want to test a normal integer. Like, we want our test to move the design of 10 and 11 along. And this test doesn't require any change. In fact, it's already passing. That's a bad test. We want a test that will fail.
Yeah, so the reason why it's not failing yet is because we haven't put in the expected result on 20. So on 20, Lisa, can you change it
correct.
from?
No, it's correct.
Oh,
It's already
so what should I
correct.
put for the expected result?
Oh, that's right. So 6. Oh, 6 does return fizz. So do you mind if we change it to 7? How does that sound, y'all? As the input.
Yeah,
Weird.
now we're talking.
we're
Except for
talking.
that's
yeah,
not
yeah.
our desired result. Our desired
Uh-oh.
result.
Ah, I couldn't run it.
Oh yeah, it is.
Perfect.
It
Perfect.
is 7, huh?
Excellent
Okay.
mob session. Well, congratulations, team. A whole new test was made. The current tests were simplified, and I think we all got to practice the roles well. Lisa, I know you asked a clarifying question. Did you disagree with anything you typed?
I should have disagreed with a 6, but I just was so nervous. So I didn't think
Oh, you're hilarious. You're hilarious. You did use a new keyboard shortcut, or in fact, not using a keyboard shortcut to the fact that we weren't mapped correctly, you and I, for the current set. You definitely learned something new about the tooling. I said, let's make a random number generator. And you're like, no, Joe, you're not the navigator. Austin queried me for an idea that was very kind. You filtered Willem and me.
Mhm.
You did have high level intent, and you were specific only when needed to. And we were absolutely working on tests. Thank you so much, Austin. Willem, I was quiet for a little while, and then you brought me back in. I don't know, we're all a bunch of white people.
Yeah, I don't feel like I did that.
I think I've got the
I-
least privilege, but I was driving. So
I don't feel like I did second or third.
At the moment, I'm representing Pacific Islanders of all types. And you celebrated.
Well, I want to push back a little bit, Joe. You're giving me experience points that I really honestly don't feel like I earned, and I think it's useful for me to demonstrate those behaviors, right? So this would be what one might call, if you play by cheating and you just willy-nilly give people points. You can do that, but it's actually I realized I was getting pulled into the coding challenge rather than going, how would a sponsor approach what I'm doing? So I'd like, if possible, can you uncheck?
I think you can right click.
Now we're at the limit of the tooling. I don't believe there's a way to go back down once clicked.
Right, can you control click on the number? I think it'll uncheck the box.
No, that's
No,
You're just
okay.
scoring even higher, my friend.
All right, yeah, next time, please, yeah.
oh, now you have to. Oh no.
Well, we are coming up on time here.
We are, yes.
And so maybe I'll take over. Everybody can release the keyboard. To our audience, let's just stop sharing here briefly. To our audience, please, if you're interested in another episode of this, please let us know in the comments. I think that we could go through this. We could go into more advanced roles. Maybe we start with the points that we've already earned or something along those lines.
It was really fun. Yeah.
And maybe can we maybe hear a soundbite of anything that you'd want to plug or share, starting with Willem and then going to Lisa and then Joe?
Yeah, sure. Actually, this will have already happened, but this weekend is the Thermodynamics of Emotion Symposium, October 7th through 9th, 2022, and we'll all be gathering to have conversations around complex systems, leadership, work, life, all the good stuff. So you're welcome to check that out at our website, thermodynamicsofemotion.com.
All right, yeah, and maybe sign up next year.
Yeah, sign up next year. Every year, first weekend in October.
Yep. All right, Lisa, how about you?
Oh, great. So just check out my blog, lisacrispin.com, and our Agile testing fellowship, agiletestingfellow.com for all the things I'm going to be coming up doing. So check my blog, check the blog on Agile Testing Fellow. We got courses coming up. We got conferences coming up.
Awesome. And Joe, how about you?
Oh, my honor to be hanging out with Chris, Austin, Lisa, Willem today. You can reach me at joe@abi-agile.com or my website, abi-agile.com, but I'm most active on Twitter at Joe Justice. In Tesla, where I worked previously in 2020, we did ensemble work, or specifically mob, on everything: hardware, software, 3D design, procurement. And I do teach online classes now. The foundation level 1 class, we do mob level 1. The intermediate class, where we had contracts and finances, we do mob level 2. And the advanced class, hardware and software, 3D CAD design, procurement, the whole business, we do mob level 3. This is all stuff that I learned absolutely from the mob community that's posting, and the game Mobster is making it addictive. And I'm playing this game with now hundreds of people every month, new people every month, and they're really loving the work that William has put out, amplified by Chris and Austin. I'm humbled and blown away to be here. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you very much, Joe. And to all of our listeners, please like and subscribe. And if anybody wants to know what the Mob RPG is like, please share this episode with them. And until next time, we'll see you all later. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.